Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Hope this video finds you doing well. Today we're going to do something that we've never done on the channel before. We are going to share the top 5 players in the world and their favorite decks right now today in the game. So you'll be getting 5 great players and 5 great decks as well. They'll all be in the description for you guys to try out. Feel free to go ahead and copy them and give them a whirl. Now, what factors did I use when determining who these players are today? Well, number 1 is track record in CCGS, using win rates at live events, and CRL. So I've seen almost every minute of CRL Asia and every minute of CRL China. I have a lot of data, so this list is going to be Asian Pro heavy simply because CRL China already has a whole season under their belt. I'm reluctant to include a lot of North American, EU, and Latin American players, however there will be a couple on this list because we haven't seen CRL yet. There's a lot of great up-and-coming players, but I'm using a lot of CRL data here on this list. And then just live performances. Take it from an average player who has performed at Kings Cup 1, Kings Cup 2, Helsinki Tournament, YouTuber Tournament. It's nerve-wracking playing in front of what you know will be millions of eyeballs at the end of the day. Your hands are like the fireball. It's really, really nerve-wracking. Take it from someone who is comfortable public speaking in front of thousands or even millions of people online, of course. It's different. It's a different ball game trying to play Clash Royale on a mobile device when you know there's that many people watching. So live event performance is going to be important. And last but not least, I reached out to a few pros from each of the regions, just try to get their opinions too. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's a player that other pros looked up to. So I also took that data into account. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the decks and the players. Alright guys, so number 1 on the list is going to be an easy one. He's an amazing player. In fact, the number 1 player according to the win rates in CRL China. He was also voted MVP of the Spring League, and that is Nova Esports Elsiop, the Silent Assassin. This guy's just incredible, and he is, like I said, silent and an assassin. He's really good, and he's absolutely cool, calm, and collected, even under the most pressure, the highest pressure one could think of in the game. He's also a beast at every single deck archetype in the game. He's flexible and he knows how to play the chess match. He also has pinpoint precision in all of his placement and decision making, and he's able to play not just 1 or 2 or 3 moves ahead of the opponent, but 5, 6, and 7 moves at times ahead of the opponent, thinking of what they want to do and then thinking of the best way to prevent that from happening. He's a psychological killer in these Clash Royale matches, and he's just really good. I spoke to his manager in Nova Esports over in China, Sean, and he said that's the thing that puts Elsiop above the rest, is he can't be frazzled. He cannot be taken off of his game. Even if he's down, he can reverse sweep with ease. And as a matter of fact, Nova Esports had a really good team that led them to victory in CRL China, but there's no doubt about it. They leaned very heavily on Elsiop. He played every single match that they could possibly allow him to play in to actually follow the rules. So he played as much as humanly possible, and I do not blame them. Again, this is his favorite deck in the game right now. It's a Giant Witch Lumberjack deck. Feel free to go ahead and give it a try on your own. I think you'll like it, guys. And Elsiop, with that, is our number 1 player on our list of best players in the world right now. Now, number 2 on the list is going to be Surgical Goblin from Team Liquid. Now, Surgical Goblin, I'm sure a lot of you guys could have predicted he would be on the list. Bear with me for a second here, guys, as I go down the list of big live events that Surgical Goblin has won or placed high at. Here we go. CCGS EU Spring, number 1. Kings Cup 2, number 1. GamerG Fall, number 1. ESWC Winter 2017, first place. ESWC Fall 2017, first place. ESWC Fall 2016, second place. Must have been off his game that day. ESWC Fall 2016, first place. Gamescom 2017, first place. Best 17 live event, number 4. And Gameopolis 2017, first place. Are you kidding me? You guys know Surgical Goblin. He's also a big YouTuber and just one of the, we talked about the chess match when we talked about Elsiop, but this guy's just absolutely insane. You can see him right now playing, and it's using two cards that are really strong in the meta right now, both Tesla and Valkyrie. I actually made a video on it if you guys want to see him in other amazing replays using this deck. Here he's facing off against St. Belican, another really amazing player, is one of my favorite, and Surgical's just absolutely insane. He is the ultimate, the consummate chess grandmaster player, just like Elsiop, so that's why they make the top of my list today. He's been playing the game ever since beta. He knows all the decks, he knows all the players. He's just an infinite source and wealth of knowledge about the game. He's seen every deck, and he's just so good and has so much experience under his belt. That's why Surgical Goblin makes the list of the top 5 players in the world. Next up on the list is Mikin Booya, aka Orange Boy from Ponos Esports in CRL Asia. Now, he's a Japanese pro who's probably one of the 2 most feared players in all of CRL Asia. He's a name that you all should know about. And the other most feared player is Sin Woong from South Korea, Expo Master. You guys might remember him from CCGS World Finals. I decided to go with Mikin here on the list, mainly because of how different he is from every other pro in the game. He is such a perfectionist. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Chizen lately, and he told me a story that I wanted to pass on to you guys about Orange Boy, and that was before a recent CRL China match. Now remember, this is live, being recorded live. They have judges, they have other players, there's a big production in the background, and right before the match, he stopped everything because of a little audio glitch that he was experiencing in his headphones. He's one of the first pros who I've heard talk about the importance of audio to his success. He relies heavily on audio cues from the sound effects of the cards and the troops in the game to give him an edge that you couldn't otherwise have, which, you know what, is good news and advice for me, because this might shock some people, but I don't usually play with audio turned on at all, so maybe I ought to start doing so, because if it works for Orange Boy, hey, maybe, you never know, it might work for me. Now, other than that, you can see him in the background right now playing his favorite deck in the game, which is a Lumberjack version of Bridge Spam, a very effective deck that he's very good at. But just like the other pros, he's really good at a variety of decks. And again, it's going to be a reoccurring theme here, as all of these players have a very healthy knowledge of how to both play and also compete against basically every popular meta archetype and deck in the game. So that's why Mikin Booya, aka again Orange Boy, the Japanese pro, is going to make number 3 on our list of best players in the world. He's a fantastic player, and I expect him to do very big things in CRL finals if his team gets there. Next up on the list is going to be Little Chen. Now, you guys know Little Chen. He's one of the best players in China, and I want to share a little bit of a backstory on Little Chen, but before we do so, check out the deck that he's playing right now. His favorite deck in the game, it's Minor Poison Cycle, 2.3 Minor Cycle deck. He got 20 wins using this deck in the CCGS Challenge, so it's definitely a super strong deck, so give it a try. Again, all the deck links will be in the description below. Now, he played for CRL China in 2018 for Go Esports, but back in 2017, he made it as a solo player, a contestant in CCGS to the World Finals. He finished in first place. However, he wasn't able to attend to face off against the likes of Sergio Ramos and all the other amazing players there representing the global stage because of visa issues. But while I was there co-hosting the event with BBXH, I had the opportunity to talk to some Chinese journalists, and I asked them, how good is Little Chen? Like, talk to me about Little Chen. And they said at the time, remember, this is almost a year ago now, that he had a ton of raw talent. He was a really good player, but he was a little bit undisciplined. He would go really aggressive at times, and it would cost him the match, especially against other top-tier players in the world. Now, since then, he's been able to actually live in a team house, work with other pro players, and work with coaches more, and instill that sense of sensibility and discipline that he was previously lacking in his game. Now, I think that once he took that step in his evolution as a player, he's become one of the top-tier, true best players in the world. I spoke to his new coach recently, and he said, he kept using that same word, sensibility. Little Chen has a strong ability to not overcomplicate things, to just to rely on his fundamentals and know when, again, to put that pressure on and know when to play defensively, which again was something that he lacked. He used to just see any opening and take it. Now you kind of learn more about how far he's come as a player by seeing the opportunities that he doesn't take, that he passes up on. And again, that just gives him that more full picture as a pro player. He's the full body of a pro now, rather than just a guy with a lot of talent and potential. And now I think it's safe to say that he is better than wins. The last guy on our list is going to be Sergio Ramos. Now, of course, guys, I could have included so many other players on this list, but I thought I would give due justice to the pro. It is the guy who won CCGS finals in London last year, taking home $150,000. Now, Sergio might not be at the top of his game right now in CRL China, for example, playing for Nova Esports. He didn't play in the finals, so it's tough to make the argument that he is, at this current moment, one of the top 5 players. There's a lot of hotter players right now, sexier names out there, but they don't have the track record, in my opinion, that Sergio Ramos does. So again, I wanted to do due diligence by both Sergio and by you guys and include the player who won the biggest live event in the history of Clash Royale. Again, hailing from Mexico, Sergio Ramos took home $150,000, and it was cool to see him grow as a player, not so much during CRL China, but rather throughout the duration of CCGS in Latin America. He went from, again, kind of a guy who wasn't very polished in the spring season of CCGS, and then going into the fall, he was really on his game, and he carried that into the World Finals, and the finals of the World Finals against Music Master, where he just really won, in my opinion, from someone who was there at the event, just through really strong technical discipline, and just, again, letting the opponent make mistakes, being very comfortable playing all the way into sudden death, and just playing and taking the opportunities that are given to you. And that's why I decided, again, to include Sergio Ramos. Now, guys, do you want me to see this list expanded and updated as CRL Latin America and EU and North America start to take place? Let me know in the comments below. And again, guys, if I didn't include your favorite pro player, my apologies to you. Again, I was just kind of leaning on a lot of CRL Asia results here, and there's no doubt about it, there's a lot of great players. I could probably have included one of about 20 players in this list of top 5 players, but again, I decided to go with information that I've seen recently in the competitive scene, and because Latin America, North America, and EU haven't started yet, well, they were at a little bit of a disadvantage for this list. So guys, huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner, and make sure you go ahead and check him out in the description below, along with all of these decks and all of these players' stats and profiles. And look at this last second finish here by Sergio Ramos. There's the log. It comes down, winning with his favorite deck, which is the Bowler and Hog Rider deck. So again, guys, shout out to Bren Chong. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care, guys.